An Aussie panel show host has copped serious flack after he took a major swipe at Prince Andrew. While discussing the year's events just before 2022 wraps up, the project panelist Kate Langbrick reflected on Queen Elizabeth II's passing in September. It was at that moment comedian and fellow panelist Michael Hing jokingly took aim and fired at the royal. He said, "2022 was so depressing, obviously, the Queen died, but maybe next year will be better and Prince Andrew will die." The comment elicited audible groans from the audience as a few of the panelists gasped in shock. Hing added, "Come on, whatever, you're defending Prince Andrew." Some royalists didn't take too kindly to the comedian's remarks. One person repeated Hing's comments on Twitter, adding their own opinion at the end. "Words fail me." Another said, "What a flog you are, Michael Hing, wishing someone dead on live TV is disgusting and disgraceful no matter the reason." While a third took a dig at Hing and the fact he has been added to the show as a permanent panelist for 2023. Out with the old and in with further shite. Nothing changes at Channel 10. Prince Andrew was officially stripped of his royal and military titles this year after becoming embroiled in convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. Australian Virginia Giuffre, who was 17 at the time, accused the financier of sex trafficking her to the Duke of York. Prince Andrew, however, has denied these allegations. Despite taking a back seat from his royal duties, the king appointed his younger brother Counselor of State shortly after the Queen's death. Journalist and political editor of ITV News Robert Peston posted a series of threads explaining the prestigious position. He wrote, "The monarch appoints 5 councillors of state to stand in for him when he is unwell or out of the UK. They are his spouse plus the top 4 in succession to the crown who are aged 21 or over. These include Prince Andrew and his daughter Princess Beatrice, only just appointed, but not Princess Anne, who is probably the most widely respected of the royal family. Many would say this is nuts, especially since the 2013 Succession to the Crown Act ended primogeniture, though only for those born after 2011. He concluded. So if King Charles were incapacitated, Andrew would step in, not Anne. Do you think most British people would approve? A dark and embarrassing chapter of the royal family's past has been brought back into the spotlight after an incident with a young heckler on Monday. Prince Andrew has again drawn heat after he was verbally accosted by a young man wearing a Melbourne City FC football top in Edinburgh during a procession for the Queen's coffin. It was along the city's Royal Mile where the Duke of York was heckled by 22-year-old Rory, who yelled, "Andrew, you're a sick old man." Authorities were quick to deal with the young heckler, with police pulling him from the crowd as a number of mourners at the procession pushed and hurled abuse at him. However, the incident brought back into focus one of the royal family's most damning controversies. A 22-year-old man was arrested in connection with a breach of the peace during the procession of the coffin of the late Queen Elizabeth II on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh, Scotland, on Monday, September 12, Police Scotland said. A Police Scotland spokesperson told Storyful. A 22-year-old man was arrested in connection with a breach of the peace on the Royal Mile at around 2:50 p.m. on Monday, the 12th of September. Footage recorded by Holyrood magazine journalist Chris Marshall shows a man in a blue hoodie being pulled to the ground before being led away by a police officer. A few people can be seen pushing the man while the crowd starts to chant "God Save the King," and one person yells, "Disgusting." The man can be heard saying, "Oi, I've done nothing wrong," as he is led away. A man wearing an identical blue hoodie with a red cross can be seen in media footage of the procession shouting, "Andrew, you're a sick old man," referring to Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, who took part in the procession with King Charles III and the late Queen's other children. Other journalist footage shows the man in the hoodie sitting between 2 police officers. Credit: Chris Marshall, Holyrood magazine. Via Storyful. A dark and embarrassing chapter of the royal family's past has been brought back into the spotlight after an incident with a young heckler on Monday. Prince Andrew has again drawn heat after he was verbally accosted by a young man wearing a Melbourne City FC football top in Edinburgh during a procession for the Queen's coffin. The royal family were in the Scottish capital as part of a series of ceremonies marking the Queen's journey from Balmoral to London for her funeral. It was along the city's Royal Mile where the Duke of York was heckled by 22-year-old Rory, who yelled, "Andrew, you're a sick old man." Authorities were quick to deal with the young heckler, with police pulling him from the crowd as a number of mourners at the procession pushed and hurled abuse at him. However, the incident brought back into focus one of the royal family's most damning controversies. A photo of Prince Andrew, second from right, walking behind the hearse carrying Queen Elizabeth's coffin, has sparked outrage and shone a spotlight on his controversial past. Reporter Joseph Anderson from Scottish political magazine Holyrood caught up with Rory shortly after he was arrested in connection with a breach of the peace. "Powerful men shouldn't be allowed to commit sexual crimes and get away with it," the handcuffed protester said, alluding to Prince Andrew's connections to U.S. sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein. Thank you for watching till the end. Please share with us your thoughts in the comment section.